From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Emma, do you think November 3rd is too early for Christmas music?
I mean, that's debatable, but you want to know what it's for sure not too early for? To start singing We Are the Champions.
That's right. Good morning and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Madeline Heichu.
And I'm Emma Kane. Thanks for joining us. On Friday night, the top-ranked Tar Heels faced rival Duke in a thrilling field hockey face-off at Karen Shelton Stadium on senior night. Duke scored first off a penalty corner past UNC goalkeeper Katie Wimmer, putting the Blue Devils up 1-0. The Tar Heels kept on the pressure, and after a few near misses, Charlie Bruder fired a dangerous penalty corner, forcing a big save late in the half. Halfway through the third quarter, the Tar Heels answered back. Isabel Bohr found the cage off a penalty corner with an assist from Sana Hawk and Riley Heck to tie the game. In the fourth quarter, it was intense, but after great attempts from both teams, neither were able to find the net. The Tar Heels headed to overtime for the 6th time this season. Riley Heck worked her magic in the circle and got the ball to Danny Mendez, who delivered the winning goal, sealing the 2-1 victory for the Heels, who clinched a share of the ACC regular season title. This is a team that knows how to win. To hear more about that overtime win against their Tobacco Road rival, let's head over to our field hockey analyst for Gray's game plan. Sophia.
Thanks, Emma. It was a senior night to remember. The Tar Heels took down rival Duke, and with that victory, North Carolina secured a share of the ACC regular season title for the 4th straight year. However, the final score doesn't tell the whole story. Carolina finished with 17 shot attempts, including 7 on goal, compared to just 5 shot attempts and 2 on goal for the Blue Devils. Several opportunities slipped away, forcing the match into extra time. Let's take a look at one prime example. Danny Mendez is going to start with the ball right here. She's going to dodge her defender and send in a perfect feed to Riley Heck. Now, Riley has no one between her and the goal besides the goalie. She's going to get a quick shot off. It's going to bounce off the goalie's pads, and Riley has a second attempt. We really need to convert at this point in time. Carolina's already down 1-0, but Riley sends the ball over the back of the cage. Still, when it matters most, the Heels do deliver. Now it's going to be roles reversed here. Riley's going to start with the ball. She's going to dodge both of her defenders into the shooting circle. Now I'm going to stop it right here. Danny's going to notice that her defender's going to pick up on Riley, so she's going to cut behind. Riley's going to have a perfect feed, and Danny's going to have a sliding shot to end the game. Now, with the regular season in the books, North Carolina turns its focus to Louisville for the 2025 ACC Championship, aiming to bring home the program's 28th conference title. As I said, the Tar Heels are consistently delivering in big moments, but as they head into postseason, they really need to focus on opportunities to prevent any more overtime.
Thanks, Sophia. Let's hope they can keep this momentum into this week because it's officially ACC tournament season. The field hockey ACC tournament kicks off tomorrow, and the team is already in Louisville. UNC will face number 8 Louisville, who is 2-6 in the ACC, coming off a win against Syracuse on Saturday. The two faced each other earlier this season, ending in a 3-0 win for the Heels. UNC's defense needs to lock down on senior forward Riley Wollstrom, Louisville's lead scorer this season. North Carolina will look to convert more opportunities to earn their first tournament win tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the bracket. We have UNC playing Louisville, and we just played Duke, who'll be facing off against Cal. We'll play the winner of that game if we move on. But for UNC, I mean, their offense has been top tier this season. We've got Charlie Bruder, Riley Heck, Danny Mendez.
Yes, they've been absolutely insane, but you know what they say? Defense wins championships. So I'm hoping that our defense can step it up and help us secure those wins. It was a Friday night to remember in Carmichael Arena, though, as the Tar Heels faced number 7 SMU in a high-stakes volleyball match. The Heels and the SMU Mustangs were in a back-and-forth battle that had fans on their feet from the first serve to the final point. On offense, the Heels were electric, led by Sophie Hampton, who tied her career high with 22 kills. Chelsea Thorpe and Lainey Smith added to the damage, as the trio combined for a staggering 48 kills on the night. And when the Mustangs tried to fight back, the Carolina defense shut the door. Lauren Shutter came up at the net with 5 blocks, halting SMU's momentum. After 5 thrilling sets, the Tar Heels came out on top 15-13, sealing a statement win against the Mustangs. The task got even harder on Sunday as number 4 Pitt came to town. After dropping the first set, the Tar Heels came firing back to even the match with strong energy and clean execution in the second, highlighted by Jackie Taylor's clutch serving run that included several aces. Pitt pulled ahead again in the third, but the Heels refused to back down, taking the fourth to force a decisive fifth. Down late in the final frame, Carolina rallied to tie it at 14-all before narrowly falling in a heartbreaking finish. Maddie May shined on defense with a string of incredible digs to keep the Heels alive, while Sophie Hampton delivered an all-around standout performance in one of Carolina's strongest efforts of the season.
Work hard at this every day to put our kids in a position that they can have moments like that. And next time we have a moment like that, we're prepared to do it.
This weekend really showed the depth UNC volleyball has. To talk more about the matchups, Marilee Two is here with Zoe Barrett. Marilee?
Thanks, Madeline. Zoe, thank you for joining me. Y'all had an incredible weekend of matchups, starting with SMU. What was the mindset going in as the underdog, but as y'all continue to pile on those points?
I mean, on paper, we were definitely the underdog, but I think going into the game, we just wanted to prove how good we really think we are. So.
And y'all certainly did that. And then moving on to Sunday, y'all had an even tougher matchup against Pitt. Did you take the momentum from SMU into Sunday, or did you treat them as 2 different matches?
We treated them as 2 different matches, but Friday was a huge confidence boost for us, like proving just, how we can play.
Certainly.
And so we went into Pitt knowing that we had to be a lot cleaner.
And even though y'all narrowly lost, you and Sophie both had racked up some points. Sophie had 14 kills and 11 digs, another double-double for her. And you had 24 assists. It was a big, strong effort, but you know what? Sometimes it happens, but you did prove that you had a lot of depth on your team, and I think that's something to be proud of.
For sure.
Now, I'm a big numbers girl. I don't know about you. So the Sports Extra team has been predicting what the Week 11 rankings are going to be like. Right now, y'all sit at 21. But I think coming into this next week, I hope to be in the top 15 for y'all, but I realistically think y'all will be around 17. SMU, I think they're going to move up to 8 because of y'all. Good job on that. And I think Pitt's going to stay where they are just because they had 2 wins. But we'll see. What are your thoughts?
I mean, obviously, I would love to be in the top 16, especially getting closer to the tournament. We want to be able to host. That would be awesome. But also Pitt, too. I feel like with their 2 wins this weekend, they potentially could move up. I mean, if you look outside of it, Texas, they had 2 losses this weekend. They were the number 2 team, so they could move down and Pitt could move up. But great volleyball this weekend overall.
Right, and rankings don't matter in the end. You keep continuing to show out and beating these tougher teams.
For sure.
So thank you for being here, and back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Marilee. Carolina volleyball does one thing right every single game, and that's high energy through all 5 sets.
I mean, that's right. We saw it in both SMU and Pitt, but especially in SMU, when we see UNC go down by almost 10 in that 4th set, they come back for that 5th set, ready to attack and pulled out that win.
Yeah, the offense has been on fire, but so is Lauren Shutter on defense. Her blocks have definitely kept Carolina in some of these tighter games.
And they will need both that defense and that offense for their upcoming match against Stanford. On Friday against Syracuse, the defensive prowess that Bill Belichick is known for was on full display, with our football team having 3 sacks for a total loss of 20 yards. The Tar Heel offense started off slowly, trailing a 10-6 at halftime, but on the first play of the second half, running back Damon June caught a screen pass from Gia Lopez and made a 63-yard dash into the end zone for an electrifying touchdown. Carolina takes the lead 12-10. In the third quarter, Lopez made a handoff to June at the 10-yard line, and June breezed through the Syracuse defense, finding the end zone a second time, extending Carolina's lead. Lopez's accuracy extended into the fourth quarter. He threw a 21-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Shipp, and the Heels walk away with their very first ACC play win. Now, our football analyst, Alden Archdeacon, hasn't pulled any punches in his critiques of the team so far this season, but I'm guessing today it might be a little different. What do you have for us, Alden?
Yeah, thanks, Emma. Big win for UNC, even bigger for Bill Belichick. Give them their flowers, give them whatever they want. It's their first ACC win of the year. All phases of the game played great. Let's start with the offense. The guy that really stood out was Damon June. He was great. He had over 170 yards in scrimmage. Let's look right here, though. It's a fake screen to Jordan Chip. They act like it's a wide receiver screen. Lopez fakes the throw. He then dumps it off to Damon June. He's got blockers in front of him, but he's even going to make more plays as you go down here. He's going to stiff arm a guy. He's so athletic. I mean, he had multiple touchdowns on the game. We were kind of waiting for this breakout game out of June, but he had it against Syracuse. To be fair, though, Syracuse, second worst rushing defense in the conference, worst overall defense in the ACC. So, but they did capitalize on that, so give them credit. Moving on, though, the defense, they played great, specifically the secondary. They only allowed 22 yards in the air, only 4 completions the entire game. And what that opened up was the defensive line to apply more pressure to the Syracuse quarterback. Let's look here at Melkart. He was a standout last game. He was a standout once again. You can see here the pocket collapses. Syracuse's quarterback's going to run outside. Melkart's going to chase him down, cause a fumble and a sack. He had 2 on the game. Listen, I kind of felt a win coming here. We were building slowly but surely. We were coming up short just barely, but we finally got over the hump. The question now becomes, can UNC start to stack these W's and possibly make a backdoor bowl game? I don't know. Emma?
Thanks, Alden. There is no doubt that this was a step in the right direction for the Heels before they take on Stanford this week.
And Carolina's win against Syracuse isn't the only thing keeping fan spirits high. Lindley Johnson captured the hype around the Chapel Thrill concert series.
Football game day is not just about what happens on the field.
All right, what are we going to do now beyond the game that's going to give people a reason to come to Chapel Hill?
The Chapel Thrill concert series is a new free pregame event organized by the UNC Athletics Department and held here at Polk Place.
It's been a fun process. It's been a learning process, but it has been really neat to see collectively the campus and the town come together for this initiative.
There have been 4 concerts so far this season: Chase Rice, John Stone, Ludacris, and Collective Soul.
As I looked around, I saw so many different people. I mean, young folks, older folks, alums, people that weren't even coming to the football game, but he had everybody in the palm of his hand.
Chapel Thrill was designed to build off the buzz of hiring Bill Belichick.
You ready? I think it's bringing a lot of excitement and culture back to the idea of a football on Saturday, and it's getting people more excited to get up and get out and have things to do.
There is also food trucks set up at every concert.
We will reassess everything at the end of the year, but I can't see a scenario where it doesn't come back this next year.
The next concert is November 8th before the Stanford game. I'm Lindley Johnson reporting.
Fitz and the Tantrums will be taking the stage this weekend.
And Maddie, there's been quite a slew of concerts, so what's been your favorite?
Interesting enough, Ludacris at 10 a.m. was something I never thought I'd see, but it was so amazing.
And I know that your parents were in town for that one, so that's got to be a great memory for you. But up next, we have Fitz in the Tantrum, and I mean, I know that they can make your hands clap. But onto the pitch, Halloween night proved to be a scary one as the Blue Devils men's soccer team came to Chapel Hill for the Tar Heel senior night. The game started as defensive battle before Duke's Keenan Hott scored in the 36th minute to give the Blue Devils the lead. After multiple unsuccessful fast break attempts and only one recorded shot, the Heels went down into halftime 1-0. The rivalry was in full swing, with players passionately yelling at each other and the refs after every call. Carolina took 6 shots in the second half, but didn't convert, while Duke's Drew Kerr scored in the 84th minute, making the score 2-0 and giving Carolina the 3rd loss in the past 4 games to end the regular season.
They had 2 goals, and they were good goals. We didn't just let them by us. Kudos to them, but we got to be able to find the back of the net too.
We have the tournament coming up, and they're starting with the ACC tournament versus Notre Dame.
That's right, and the Heels need to make sure they get away from those ties that we saw early in ACC play. We have Nacho Abial, who's leading the men with 5 goals, but they need to really be able to rely on those goal scorers to get them into that tourney and also hopefully make the NCAA.
Yes, now onto the women's side. I mean, we had that win against NC State 1-0. I mean, that was making me really anxious. What about you?
I mean, I was definitely a little nervous, but the team's been really good on defense.
And yeah, and we have Lauren Malsom and Riley Kennedy back from the Junior FIFA World Cup, so I'm feeling a little more hopeful.
Me as well.
I think we're going to make the tournament, so I'm really excited. But women's basketball is back, and they are taking on NC Central in their season opener as we speak. They're entering the season ranked 11th in the country. Last week, they played in a scrimmage against number 2 South Carolina, ending in a close loss. Nyla Harris, the transfer from Louisville, had a double-double and is definitely someone to look out for today. Break out the Santa hats because it's college basketball season's Christmas Day, tip-off of the 2025 season. Our men's and women's basketball analysts Grace Nugent and Jason Pattison are live at Carmichael Arena.
Welcome to a raucous Carmichael Arena where UNC women's basketball is currently beating NC Central 49-19 with just over 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter of their home opener. Jason, you are a resident women's basketball expert. Can you take me through what you've seen so far?
Yeah, right now our defense is playing really good, holding Central to only 19 points. India Navarre has 4 steals already in the game, and it's only the second quarter. And then you have Ellie Arnasalo leading us in points, shooting an almost perfect 5 for 6 from the field with 11 points. I'm really excited to see how they can go for the rest of this game and start off the season strong. But another team is tipping off today. Grace, how's the men's basketball team looking for later?
Well, the men's basketball team needs to bring their physicality to the Dean Dome. They have size, but they need to take advantage of it. I also expect to see Caleb Wilson continue his run of dominance that he showed during their exhibitions. But what's most important tonight and for this team is finding their number 1 point guard. They need to find someone who can quarterback this offense, who can initiate plays and bring the ball down the court. To everyone who celebrates, happy college basketball tip-off, and back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Jason. The men's season opener is tonight, and hopefully they can feed off some of the women's momentum. The Bears, who finished near the bottom of the A-Sun last year, tango with the Tar Heels for the first time. UNC comes into the season with a revamped roster, having previously played BYU and Winston-Salem State in preseason contest. Freshman Caleb Wilson has stood out in the exhibitions, commanding the interior on both ends of the court. He is joined by Henry Vassar in the front court that has considerable size. The guard rotation is still up in the air as the season begins, and tip-off is at 7 p.m.
And from basketball, our own Maggie Smith got to spend some time with the voice of the Tar Heels, play-by-play announcer Jones Angel.
Jones Angel, a Carolina alum and born and bred Tar Heel, grew up listening and watching everything Carolina athletics. But little did he know he would one day become the voice of the Tar Heels.
I grew up in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and we were a big Tar Heel family. My dad went to Carolina, and my mom went to Carolina, and my sister went to Carolina, and so I also went to Carolina. So it's always been a big part of my life.
Jones knew he wanted to make a career related to his love for athletics, and Carolina helped him on that journey.
I enjoyed athletics and enjoyed the lessons that I think they teach. There is value to the classroom, of course, and I think Carolina does a wonderful job giving you real world experience. The most valuable thing that happened for me was actually working with the radio network while I was in school. So I was getting real world experience because I was going out there and doing it.
However, the start to his career wasn't necessarily all glamour and success.
The very first thing I ever did on the radio was a Little League baseball game in Henderson, North Carolina. And so I ended up calling some game with like 8-year-olds playing t-ball or something. So a little bit of an inauspicious start for sure.
Jones later got to work with one of his heroes, Woody Durham, the Tar Heel play-by-play announcer, for 40 years before retiring in 2011 and passing the torch to Jones.
You could not have asked me to be sitting in there with someone who I thought was a bigger deal, because I had spent hundreds of hours with this person, even though we had never met each other. I had listened to Carolina games my entire life just to get to know Woody personally, number one, and then professionally, number two, was invaluable for me.
Jones has been the voice for Carolina's highs and lows, but he definitely has some favorite moments.
To be able to call a national championship win in a sport that is as important as it is to this state as Carolina basketball is really, really neat. And you know, that's a call that is going to stand the test of time.
I'm Maggie Smith, reporting.
It's always great to learn more about the people that make up Carolina athletics, and we look forward to continuing to hear Angel as basketball season starts up.
And on Sunday, the UNC wrestling team traveled to Virginia for the Southeast Open. In the 285-pound class, Nolan Neves made it to the semifinals, giving the Heels momentum. Then in the 441 weight class, Luke Simcox made it all the way to the finals before losing to a wrestler from Minnesota. The Heels will be back in Chapel Hill next week for their home opener against Northern Colorado.
Carolina men's fencing faced off against Duke at home on Saturday. Eldon Wood, Finn Buckman, and Vasco Atansov all secured 2 wins. Braden Greer went into overtime in 2 of his 3 matches. Duke secured the team win 14-13. Signs and cheers were present for the best rivalry in sports. The women were led by Katie McGillan Moore, who went 3-0 on the day, improving her record in season openers against Duke 6-0. And multiple freshmen impressed in their debut, including Dagny Johnson and Samantha Mariash, who both went undefeated on the day.
It was really exhilarating. I mean, can't speak for the rest of the team, but it was really nice to fence in 3 rounds.
Yeah, definitely going in a little bit nervous because it was like really intense bout and everybody's like watching you. But I think just like feeding off the energy of your teammates in the most positive way possible really helped.
Now from fencing to cross country at the ACC Championships, Carolina Cross Country brought home a podium finish and 4 All-ACC honors. The women's team finished 3rd ahead of 4 ranked teams. Vera Herbetti led the Heels with a 6th place finish, while Bryn Brown earned her 2nd straight All-ACC title. On the men's side, Colton Sands and Tomer Tarragona both broke the course records and earned All-ACC honors, helping Carolina finish 6th.
And it is Monday, so it is time for Play of the Week, and we have 2 plays coming up, one from field hockey and one from our men's basketball team. Starting off with field hockey, we have this overtime play by Danny Mendez, who scored off an assist from Riley Heck to put the Heels ahead of Duke, winning on senior night, closing out their game at Sharon Sullivan Stadium. And then in his first game at the Smith Center, freshman Caleb Wilson recovered to keep control of the ball for a clean dunk against Winston-Salem State. I mean, what a good way, an amazing way to start off your season. Be sure to vote for your favorite play on our Instagram after the show.
Every November, runners from across North Carolina take on Raleigh City of Oaks Marathon, a 26.2-mile course known for its steep hills and nearly 950 feet of elevation gain. It's a test of endurance. Our very own Adair Martin ran her very first marathon, one she'll never forget.
I woke up at 3:30 a.m., made a bagel with peanut butter, drank my coffee, and tried to convince myself I was ready for this, my first marathon. It's about a 45-minute drive from Chapel Hill to Raleigh, so I left around 5 o'clock. Checked my gear, found the A corral, stretch, and shook, from nerves and from the cold. I made the rookie mistake of lining up at the front, surrounded by 10K and half marathon runners, who took off like rockets. I just tried to settle in to my 8:30 pace. The first 5 miles were magic. Cool air, perfect weather, people cheering on every corner. I felt like I could run forever. I saw my friends around mile 7. That gave me a huge boost. By mile 10, I realized I was pushing too hard, so I latched onto the 3:45 pace group and focused on my nutrition plan. Gels every 45 minutes, a few pretzels here and there. Half of the course winds through wooden trails, beautiful and quiet. No crowd, no noise. At 17, I saw my mom. She ran with me for a mile. Then came the hill, mile 20, 500 feet straight up. I thought I'd fall backwards, but something clicked. I dug in, kept my 8:30 pace, and at the top there was my dad, cheering all downhill from here. The last 2 miles were brutal, every muscle screaming, but then I heard it, the crowd, the music, the finish line. The last 0.2 miles, pure exhaustion, but I sprinted. 3 hours and 44 minutes, my first marathon, the hardest thing I've ever done, but I finished.
So, Adair, 26.2 miles, that is so impressive. What was the training like for this? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was good. I started in September, which is a little late to the game, so I kind of had to push training pretty fast, but overall, it was good.
I mean, I know that is 26.2 miles. That is a long time to be running. So, I mean, what's your thought process like before, during, after? I mean, walk me through your mental state.
I just wanted to make sure the days leading up I was eating what I needed to eat, mentally preparing, and then during the race I just broke it up into increments every 4 miles, every 1 mile, just taking it one step at a time. And after, it was honestly just relief and a lot of pain.
Adair, you know what we say? You have a ton of side quests, as we like to call them. I mean, you're a lacrosse national champion, professional skier, and now you've ran a marathon. So, like, how does this rank on your difficulty list?
This honestly has to be number 1 out of everything that I've done so far.
And is there an Ironman in your future?
We'll see.
That's definitely not going to be in my future. Maybe I'll run the Tar Heel 10 miler. We'll have to see how I'm feeling.
Maddie, I'll let you take the 10. I'll take the 4.
But that does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
We'll be back on Friday with a preview for another exciting weekend in Carolina athletics.
Yay!